Welcome back to 59 Minutes. Levi Kwanes is my name, here with David Ogot from the GoingHome.com Trust. He always wears a t-shirt written "Dude, David Ogot on drugs" is what it says.
Yeah.
So, nini vitu, what does it mean?
It's one of the initiatives in the trust. We have 20 initiatives. So this, if you check the back, it has a message. All the t-shirts have messages, and the other thing written on the back is Dude Squad. So Dude Squad is my group of volunteers who have gone public. I think the other time we had, I think Penelope was here last time we...
But why David Ogot on drugs? Why on drugs?
You see, people will think, hey, see, I thought aliwacha.
Yeah, so you're on the thing.
But I am talking on drugs. So it's a play, you know, you get people to...
so it's some pun intended.
Yeah,
so it's David Ogot on drugs. David Ogot,
yes. We are talking on drugs with the Dude Squad, which is written behind.
It's good to say that because, you know, people are watching and wondering, your t-shirt.
No, we like that conversation to start.
Yeah.
We like putting things which spark conversation.
Yes, because the conversation must always start. Okay, stigma. Let's talk about stigma.
Yes.
Because we say drug abuse, addiction, and stigma. Just how do we begin to unravel the issue of stigma? How bad is it?
First, what is stigma? Because we always throw words.
Yeah.
And we don't define. I'm still going to go back to my definitions. For example, I have dreads. And shout out to my loctician, Edu, in Kangware. Now, people were saying, and I've had dreads off and on, you know me, my hair is like, I go with moods. And Waswahili walisema, akili ni nywele. And me, I say, si kila mutu. And
you do realize you're on a show where your host is bad.
I'm seeing.
You do realize.
You are an exception.
You need to be very careful.
You see, you have it, but you decided.
Yeah.
You see, so it is, I use my hair to describe a social drinker. Okay? A social drinker is somebody who walks in, there's alcohol, and he says, give me a beer. The beer is brought, it's open, it's poured. Then he says, give me tea. He can take it or leave it. So tomorrow I'll wake up and decide I like Levi's hairstyle. That's the mood I've woken in. And I go to my loctician, Edu, in Kangware, and I'll tell him, ataniuliza kawaida, I say, hapana, nyoa yote. He'll say, what? I say, no, that is the mood I've woken up today. Kesho I'll have an afro, which is the one I had before this. And every time I'm going out, people are saying, no, you shouldn't put dreads, your age. Siju, you are what?
Yeah.
Siju, you are social standing. Siju, you are a opinion shaper. You are a role model. You are ango, all those things.
Yeah.
No,
because the dreads signify what?
I am Dave Ogot. I've always had dreads. Rasta man, be good man, but that's my music life. Other things. Okay? I love dreads. And God blessed me with long hair. So why should I cut it? Because he did not give you the same.
And it's not a reflection of character.
Yes. But now because of stigma, people do not understand.
Yeah.
Okay? I rarely talk politics. There's enough politics in the drug industry. But you had some of the debates going on under political camps, and you can't stop reggae and all this blah, blah, blah.
And here you are.
And one person said, that is for Shaitanis stigma. You see, this is the stigma comes from ignorance. Ignorance breeds fear. Fear leads to a behavior. In this case, you fight the thing you don't understand because you fear it. You want to beat it into the ground. You don't want to talk about it. That is what stigma is.
So what's the biggest stigma surrounding alcohol, drug abuse?
The picture people have of an addict, an alcoholic or other drug addict. The picture people have. in a survey done in the US, I don't remember which year, ranking people you hate the most or detest, addicts, alcoholics were ranked below pedophiles, child molesters, child abusers, had more respect than alcoholics. So once you stigmatize, whether it's albinism, cleft lip, twins, epilepsy, alcoholism, and all these things, out of ignorance, we don't understand them. Then nobody wants to come and ask you, Levi, I have an alcoholic in my family, what do I do?
Yeah, we'd rather hide.
You'd rather hide. And then since the alcoholic, to protect himself or herself, has what we call denial, where they are saying, that is not my problem, because addicts blame. Alcoholics blame. I am drinking because my parents don't like me. They sent me to India. This was my story. And I've always wanted to go to US. Everybody else was sent to the US. I'm the firstborn, but they're treating me like, and so on and so forth. How many guys do I know? Hundreds, who are sober, recovering addicts. How many do we see on TV or media, public? Very few. Why? I left rehab 20 years ago, did my first program 21 years ago. How many people are sober since then? The ones I know are hundreds.
Yeah.
If you put others...
But we don't get to see them because of this.
We see the same faces.
The stigmatization.
Same faces.
It's the same thing.
They forgot. And Madu,
And isn't it funny? It's the same
Boniface
thing.
Dirangu, and so on and so forth. Why? Stigma.
Stigma.
People come and tell me, Bas, Buddha, thank you. You helped me to help myself get sober.
Yeah.
I've gone back to my life. But please, don't ask me to go on TV with you. Don't ask me to do my story.
And you know what I find is lost in that?
Yes.
Because like me, I'm passionate about cancer, obviously,
Yes.
as a survivor.
Yes.
So when we speak to and ask people, even this morning someone called me and said, oh, I'm looking for a survivor to come and speak somewhere.
Yes.
And I had a Herculean task trying to find a young adult
Yes.
to get there.
Yeah.
So the problem is you find that people, and it seems the same with alcoholism now,
Yes.
is that you find that there are less and less stories of people who have battled and beaten cancer.
Yes. Yes.
And as a result,
Yes.
people tend to think you can't beat it.
Yes.
But survivors are many.
Yes.
Same thing with
Yes.
alcoholism.
Yes.
Survivors are so many.
Yes.
They are not talking.
Yes.
So all we are hearing is so and so alikunywa changaka kufa.
Yes.
So and so akakuwa blind. I even
Yes.
saw a story this week of
Yes.
some young boys from Turkana
Yes.
who drank sanitizer.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
I had seen that story.
You saw the story?
Yes.
Yeah, and one of them went blind,
Yes.
and one of them died.
Yes.
3 of them went blind. And those are the stories that take center stage.
Yes. And don't forget the guys who drank sanitizer in Kiambu
Yes.
also.
So the stories of hope and triumph
Yes.
are far and few between. So
Yes.
even when you have someone like the gentleman who wrote to you this morning,
Yes. A lady.
or the lady, yes,
Yes.
you find that even from their point,
Yes.
chances are they're in a point of great despair because of what they have seen
Exactly. People wait
happen. You know,
till
they,
last minute, when now things are really elephant. Yet these signs, if prevention was being done properly, because the way we do it, we do prevention, don't start. But we're also doing for parents. What about for companies where we do employee assistance programs? Humans in schools, humans. Why is it we never used to ban schools?
it's a good question. I asked myself
And I'm
that
still
question
saying,
the other day.
one of the Moi girls
Yes.
the other day,
Yeah,
they said these are our issues.
yeah. They had an organized demo.
Yes, we want to do a demo. We are not going to riot. And they went, they presented their issues. You know, and I'm even wondering why the school was closed. Because they have gone, they presented their issues.
Yes.
People came and listened.
It was a non-violent
Yes.
demonstration.
And why,
I was very impressed
yes,
as well.
Yes.
I was like,
why is it that certain schools have never been banned or had riots or what? So those we'll do again in part 2 of whatever. But the issue is when you do prevention, you are doing for people not to start. You are doing for parents or others who have either siblings or their own kids or whatever. What do we do? What are the signs? What do we do next when we see this? And so on. And it must be, you can't do mixed messaging. And I keep repeating, my parents took me through everything culminating in a witch doctor, which didn't work. And then finally the thing which worked in some small place, 200 bob a day, pit latrine, bathing with cold water in a basin, eating meat once a week, very small portion, I knew my problem in 14 days. That's what led to the starting of the GoingHome.com Trust. By the way, last time I was here, I said we're in 10 counties. We're now in 11 counties. Kitui is on board. Former patient. So in this thing, as I keep repeating, you can have all the theories in the world. Maybe that's why they are called counseling theories. But what people want to see, where do I get help for the ones who are addicted? And then you see the results. And the best way to show it works is now the beneficiary comes and says,
and gives a testimony.
Yes. This is how I was.
Yes. And this is how I am.
This is what I did to get to where I am, and this is what I do today. That's all. You don't have to talk anything technical. Just tell your stories. That's what the Dude Squad does. We just tell our stories.
So let's do that. We only have about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yes.
What would be your advice to those, like your friend who is, lamenting for her children?
Yeah, 2 adults.
2 adults, yes.
Yes.
And that's not just the only story there. That story is replicated in a lot of places, to the point where I said, it's becoming like HIV.
Yes.
Where we used to say, you either have it or you know somebody who has it.
Yes.
So it's either in your home, or you have a cousin or an uncle or an aunt or a...
Bottom line, you're either addicted or affected. In HIV, they were saying infected. And you see, words like infection are stigmatizing words. Or rather, words are neutral, mostly. But we stigmatize
it's our use of
the condition.
Yes.
The condition. And again, that analogy I give when Charity Ngilu was a health minister and wanted to change the name of Mathare Hospital to Muthaiga something. And I wrote an article. It doesn't matter what you will call it. It is not the name. The stigma is in the condition. We have to destigmatize the condition. And you are talking about cancer. COVID has already been stigmatized.
Yeah.
We did that very quickly and put it the same way we did HIV.
Yeah. And we went high-booting the first patients. You remember them?
Yes.
Yeah.
And rolling them in paper, polythene, whatever. And burying at night, and guys are dressed like they've landed from Mars, and so on. So straight. Now you find people have recovered from COVID. You've seen the stories in the media, the lady going to the shopping center, and everybody is running away. Just like, you've used that cup, I don't want to sit next to you because of HIV. We stigmatize things.
So what do we do? We have,
so like this lady,
give some advice.
What you need to do first, and I say go back to one simple word, definition. Find the correct definition, which you have been given by no less a person than the President of the Republic, Kenyatta. It is a disease. And I will use alcohol to represent the other drugs. Therefore, once you know it is a disease, this is a sick person. Yes, the things the addict is doing will piss you off. Stealing, all these things, dropping out of school or work and so on, spending the rent money. Yes, but it is because they are a sick person. When you see another sick person walking on the street half naked, picking papers, do we get annoyed with them? Why do we understand those ones? An addict is no different. This is a sick person.
What to do?
So, bottom line, go with the correct definition which you were given by the President. Alcoholism is a disease. Addiction, drug addiction is a disease. Then find somebody, and there are people all over the Republic, who subscribe to that opinion that it is a disease. Find them, and they will then help you to come up with a plan to help your person in a structured manner. Don't listen to somebody, including myself. If you ever hear me say, bring your person, I will make them sober. I do not have that power. Like some pastors, I touch your forehead and you fall down and you wake up, you have no. I simply help people, and the others the same, who help you, the person. We act as guides. We walk the person through the same journey we've been, so that they come to a realization that it's a disease. And again, back to alcoholism, it simply means I do not have a drinking problem. How people used to say, oh, they forgot you have a drinking problem. I don't have a drinking problem. I can drink. That is not my problem. My problem is when I start drinking, I can't stop. So back to definitions. How would you define my problem? What is alcoholism? I have a stopping problem. And that problem, I will never have control again. That is why I stay sober a day at a time. Now, all I simply try to do is allow somebody to guide them so that they come to the same realization. Can Dave Ogot drink? Yes, I can drink. Can I drink safely? No, I can never drink safely for the rest of my life. So the only solution is to stop. Get the tools to help me stop and stay stopped. Stopping again is not a problem. Staying stopped is the trick. And essentially, it's that simple. An alcoholic's drinking trailer has no brakes. And every time it stops, it's at the edge of a cliff. Like my truck, I've not entered it for 21 years now. It's parked there. Immediately I enter, it starts going down. 45-degree cliff, hill, no brakes. And it peters with everything. So the only thing, shuka from your truck. How do you help your person see it is a disease, which now they have lost control of their drinking, can never drink safely again? It's that simple.
It is that simple. Well said, David. Where can I find you? WW what?
You can Google David Ogot. I'm allowed to give my number?
Yeah.
0726 005824. That is Safaricom. 0733 989 That is Airtel. 0764, also 989 083. That is Equitel. And then Facebook, dude.
Yeah.
David Ogot, you get me on social media.
So passionate about this.
And just get help. It's there.
21 years since you put down the bottle.
21 started.
21
on 4th of this month. Yeah, we're still in February.
Yeah.
Yes, and my birthday was also 16th of this month. I didn't see any M-Pesa. My M-Pesa lines are still open.
Happy birthday.
2 birthdays. 2 birthdays every Feb. 4th when I left rehab.
Yeah, let's pause it there. Next week we're going to talk about schools and
yes,
addiction in schools, and just talk about unrest and that kind of stuff. That's 59 minutes for this Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you. And stay tuned for Ilosu coming up with Leah. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jamge igabatindet. Dos igabatindet meaning anan